Welcome back to Precision Trader University. In this video, once again, I want to show you how you can use some extremely powerful trading tools to take free money from the market. Literally, the market is just trying to hand you free money, and all you got to do is just take it. So let me show you how to go about doing that. First and foremost, we're using one of the most powerful tools in the stock market by far, which is a order book in the form of BOOMAP. The Lamborghinis, the Rolls Royce of order books. So what makes BOOMAP so nice? Well, it gives you a beautiful heat map to be able to see everything nice, clear, concise. It allows you to see liquidity in the order books way away from the current price. Gives you, just a beautiful overview. Because again, why is that so powerful? Because we know the market loves to gravitate to large levels of liquidity. And again, when you can visually see this, okay, it gives you an advantage. So with that said, I want you to start thinking about the market in $5 increments. Understand the market is just moving from one $5 increment to the next. Okay, that's ultimately what it's doing. So again, and that's why when we're looking at BOOMAP, we want to see where is my $5 increment liquidity. Okay, that's where you're going to major liquidity is going to be at, and you know the market wants to gravitate to that. So prime example here, we're looking at DOCS, DOCS. Okay, I'm going to go through a handful of stocks here. And again, how did I find these stocks? Very easy. It's just top gainers for the day. There's no special scans. There's nothing fancy. You're just looking at the top gainers for the day, scanning for those throughout the day. I'd say probably 2 to 3 times a day, starting about 15, 20 minutes after the open. Look what's moving the most, and then look at it in BOOMAP, find out where its $5 liquidities are. And then from there, you can take your action. Because again, ultimately, I teach people 3 powerful strategies to take advantage of high liquidity at $5 increments. So what's the 3 strategies? One is our push through strategy. Okay, we're looking for it to get to a major liquidity, ideally, again, a $5 and $10 increment. And we're looking for a push through, a $1 push through that increment, and then guaranteed money back to the retest on the liquidity. Okay, that's the freest money. The next one is our short at major liquidity. So we're looking for it to get right to that major liquidity and dump right off of it. All right. And then the other one is our momentum liquidity strategy. We're looking for it to absorb $5 liquidity, push through it, come back, support, bounce off, head to the next major level of liquidity to the next $5 increment. So let's look at that in action today. DOCS. All right, so beautiful. Starts the day down here at $28. Market starts recovering, everything pulled back at the open. Again, another thing I teach traders is to trade with SPY in mind. Okay, the SPY has a huge one. It's moving directionally. It has a huge pull on the market. You want to know why the market blasted up so hard yesterday? Because the SPY blasted through the roof. So anyway, so please use that whenever you're trying to enter the market. Always double check it. So with that said, they start pushing everything. The whole market reverses. All right, so we're looking again, $5 increment. Where's that at? Right here, $30. So what happens? They get on top of the $30. All right, they start showing support on it. Beautiful liquidity at $32. They get to that. Okay, get to that, pull back a little bit, but then they start showing support. Look at this beautiful support on that level. So they absorb it, come back, support. Buyers even come in here, even better sign. Now, what is that telling you? They want to push to the next major level of liquidity. So again, you're going to play this. You get in here anywhere from 50 to $1.50 stop loss just below this liquidity here. All right, so the liquidity that it absorbs comes back. When it pushes through, comes back, retest, starts wicking off. Okay, your stop loss is going to be just up underneath that. Okay, you can have it as close to even as 30 cents up underneath that liquidity right there. Okay, so 30 cents, anywhere from 30 cents to $1.50. All right, and then from there, what are you going to do? You're playing it to the next major level of liquidity. In this case, 35. So let's just say hypothetically you played the momentum on liquidity here. So your liquidity, bam, momentum off of it. Where you head into the next major level of liquidity. Now, if you're in this and you're playing to this level, you absolutely always take your profit just in front of the major liquidity. You never, ever hold your profit going into major liquidity like that, because That is our SML. That is the short at major liquidity. That is by far, way more high probability than trying to just play momentum on liquidity. And again, this is beautiful when this sets up like this. But when you talk about the highest probability of success, yeah, you're talking about the SML, and the push through strategy here. So beautiful example of the SML right here. It pushes to 35, all this liquidity right here. And what do they proceed to do? Just dump it straight through the floor, all the way back to 32, all the way back to where? To the major liquidity below. So can you imagine getting into this and it gets to 35 and you're like, oh no, it can get 40 today. Oof, man, that's devastating. So remember that rule. Never, ever, ever hold your profit into a major $5 increment of liquidity. Yeah, I can assure you, you'll make you'll keep a lot of money if you do that. Now, prime example here, if we, it would have given a rejection, which it was going to reject on that monster liquidity. All right. And then it pushed back up, absorbed it, did the same thing it did here, pushed through this major liquidity here, push through it, come back, support on it. Yeah, then you got confirmation to play to 40. But until that happens, no way, Jose. All right, so let's look at a couple more here. Let's see. Oh yeah, let's see Apple. What the big dog. So again, I mentioned this morning that look for Apple to try to get support on 145 this morning because Apple wants to get to 150. All right, monster liquidity at 150. So we knew that's where they wanted to get. So all up in this 150 area, no major liquidity below, all the major liquidity above. Clear sign that they want to gravitate, all this liquidity exerts a very strong gravitational pull to the price. All right. So what do? They push it up to 149 initially, dump it off again, but there's no major liquidity down here. So again, that what they want to do is they want to find a spot to find some buyers, and then they would have pushed right back up to all this liquidity. And sure enough, that's what they did. Pushed up to 150, pulled back, pushed up to 150 again, and then once again pulled back. So you're talking about some very high probability money here. One playing to the 150, and then the SML at the major liquidity. You got a beautiful, yeah. Just dump here to 149, dump here into the 148s. Yeah, that's some extremely high probability money there. So that's Apple. Let's see. Okay, this is another one. Oh man. So I would love to tell you that I held the runner for the whole dump on this, but I had 5 things going at once, and I did not hold it because I was doing other things and I didn't want to, but yeah, I had no excuse. All right. So with that said, Inphase is, yeah, it's a mover. This is one of those ones, these high flyers, you look on the daily chart and these things are moving, $10, $15, $20 in a day, $30 in a day. Again, that kind of stuff, we more so want to focus on the $10 increments. I actually had somebody this morning that was like, asked me about 312 this morning. Hey, you want to get in at 312? And I'm like, absolutely not. We are 100% going to wait till 320. That's where the alert is set. All right. And why was the alert set up there at 320? Well, beautiful. Oh, look at all that liquidity up there around 320. Now, I did recommend also taking advantage of the push through strategy on 315. All right. So what was that? The push through 315 up to 316, and then the free money back to it because they had to test it. They had to show they can hold it. So what did they do? They absorbed 315. They pushed through at $1, came back to 315. Absolutely free money actually into the 314s, and then bam, wick off. Where are they heading? 320. All right, 319, 320. So with that said, they push up there, started at the short between 319, 320, and yeah, just absolutely monster dump on this thing. Again, we knew all the major liquidity on this thing was back here, 313, and also all the way back down at 300. So again, somebody came in, said, one of the guys in the live trading said, hey, do you know where Inphase is at? I was like, probably 300 or below 300. Oh God. Yeah. I didn't even want to look at what those, I didn't even realize it went down to 293. God, I can't even imagine what those contracts. Oh man. Yeah. You're talking 1,000, easily 1,000+% on those contracts. So yeah. Man, that hurts. That hurts not to keep that runner. And again, I didn't have any excuse. I knew they had all this liquidity back down here at 313, and I knew the way that this stock can dump. Oof, yeah, 300 was absolutely, because again, this ain't the first time we've taken advantage of Inphase. Yeah, there's been many examples. Let me see. Another one took advantage of today was Snow in our live voice trading. Okay, Snow. All right. So what do we like about Snow? Well, one thing, Snow got to its 150 liquidity this morning. And actually, I think it already hit it yesterday. So gets up here, they pull back on 149, $2-3, push back up, pull back on $1 or $2 on 150. So they had some nice pullbacks right here on the liquidity. All right. So nice, SML, the short at major liquidity, 150. They had front running liquidity here at 149. They dumped it off of that, absorbed that, finally got to 150. They pulled it back a couple dollars off of that to back to 150, 158. Again, that's $2. I mean, that's not, yeah, that's still really good money. You can make really good money just finding $1 and $2 dumps all through the stock market that are, 90, we're talking 95+% probabilities here. Yeah, really even more than that, but I'll go to the low side. So with that said, they finally absorb, support. You start getting support candles on top of this 150. Now, what is that telling you? You automatically start thinking about the next $5 increment. That's where they want to push. All right, so where do they push? 155. They get to 155, pull it back into 153s. Beautiful pullback there. But again, what do you have to see happen? They have to, if they're going to continue it, they need to push through, absorb it, which they did right here, and then they support. So they pushed up to 156, pulled it back on 155s, around 155, support. And now what can they do? Now they have the green light to be able to go to the next $5 increment, 159, 160. So with that said, we got it up here right around 150, between 159 and 160. And yeah, from there was playing the dump back to at least the 157 area. I went ahead and took everything off on mine in the 157s. There was some nice algos there, and also to 156. So 156 and 157 had algos, and of course, our algos are computer trading levels that we know the market. Yeah, I mean it's crazy. It's crazy how much the markets follows these algorithms. So anyway, if you want more information on that, feel free to come to the server and check it out. So anyway, with that said, just beautiful stuff there on 160. They buyers come in here at 156, push it back up to 160. They eventually push it to 161. Got to come back and get support on 160 after 161. They do push it right back up to 161. And then finally, more sellers come in at 162, and bam, they finally knock it all the way back down. So, yep, Snow was a resilient one, to say the least. But with that said, again, this is not some, like I said, I'm not just finding, just going through, just cherry picking stuff. This is not hard to do. You're just scanning for the dollar gainers for the day, and also I'll check the percent gainers for the day. You just look at it, click on it, see something that's moving nicely, look at its liquidity. Okay, major liquidity up there. And yeah, I know that I'm going to have free money when we get, so we'll set alerts. Whenever it gets up to around that level. So starts getting up to around 149, 160, have an alert just below that to let me know, hey, Snow's getting there. It's time to make some free money. Now again, I could have just played the momentum on it. I could have took advantage of that as well. The momentum on liquidity momentum, but at the same time, for me, a lot of times I just like, with everything I got going on in the server, I just like to be able to set alerts on these levels. Gets there, make me a extremely high probability money, and then just move on to the next one. So I would rather have 2 to 5 of these a day. Find these with extremely high probabilities than just trying to play 1 or 2 stocks and hope and wish they go whatever, trend trading, however it is that you want to take advantage of it. So, but anyway, to each his own. I like to make things as easy as possible. As high as probability and as easy as it gets. And again, there's nothing higher probability in the stock market than taking advantage, finding where people are taking profit at major liquidity, and where they're taking profit, you're making profit. So anyway, that's it in a nutshell. If you want to see, we got over 1,000 trades using our strategy. Feel free to come to the Discord, take advantage of that. You'll get to see the power of it for yourself. So with that said, that'll do it for this video. Appreciate you watching, and hope you have a good rest of your day.